Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Marketing Playbook brought to you by the Founder Media, an initiative of Bharat Network Group. I am Aishwarya Saxena, Senior Associate Editor at BNG, and I am absolutely delighted to be moderating this exclusive virtual roundtable. Today's session is themed with the strategic growth levers winning the B2B tech market in 2025 and is crafted for the senior B2B marketing leaders that are navigating one of the most dynamic periods of this industry has ever experienced. So, talking more about the topic, in a world where buyer attention span have rapidly shrunk, AI is redefining research and targeting, and communities are emerging as a powerful voices of trust over traditional content. The rules of engagement has now been rewritten. So, to explore these themes in depth, we are joined today by an exceptional panel of marketing leaders who are shaping the future of B2B technology. And it's my privilege to introduce these distinguished speakers. I will start from Mr. Kartik Nagendraa, CMO at SignDesk. Hi, sir.
Hi.
Can you give us a small brief about yourself so that we can get a introduction on the way?
Sure. Firstly, thank you to you and the Founder Media for having me on this panel. Really excited to share my perspectives with fellow marketers out there. I come with 20 plus years of experience in B2B technology marketing, both from the IT services as well as on the product side. So where I essentially help organizations on scaling up their GTM and building the lead pipeline and establishing themselves as thought leaders in their specific sectors. So currently, I head marketing for SignDesk, and we are in the process of going through a brand refresh and becoming Melento shortly, and entering into this new era of agentic AI. So really excited to be part of this. Thank you.
Great to have you here, sir. Next is Jack Anto, Head and Design in Marketing from M2B Fintech. Over to you.
Hey, thanks, Founder Media and Aishwarya for uh, having me on here. And of course, wishes to everyone who's part of the panel. So, hi, everyone. So, myself, Jack. So, I have 18 plus years of experience on design and marketing. So, I start my career in design first and then into marketing. So, I'm responsible for M2P's marketing strategy, whatever happens in M2P. So if you ask me, like, yes, I've been into the B2B segment for almost like 12 years, specific if you ask me. And I worked in various industries. So I was there in edutech for 12 years, fintech for this last 5 years, and previously I worked in some servicing companies. I was there in advertising agencies and things. So marketing creative is always there in my blood, and then I've been traveling throughout this segment for a while. And apart from this, I also have a community of marketing. Plus, also I have a community for designers and things, which we run it in Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and in Mumbai. So things are moving fast, and happy to be part of the stage. So yeah, that's about me.
It's great to have you here, sir, also. Then we have Mr. Aditya Agarwal, Director Marketing, LeadSquared.
Yeah, hey everyone. First of all, thank you, Aishwarya, Anupam, and the Founder Media for inviting me to this panel. Super excited to be a part of this panel and contribute my ideas towards what is the new CMO is thinking in today's world. I am a part of Lead Squared, taking care of BTL marketing. I head BTL marketing across the globe, and also I take care of go-to-market strategy. So I've been in Lead Squared from almost 3.5 years, taking care of B2B marketing. Before this, I was taking care of B2C marketing for a company called Topper, which was an edtech company. And so I have seen both the worlds, B2C and B2B. Although people say that both the marketing strategies are different, I agree with that. But I think execution is more important than just making a strategy. And execution has to be strong, be it B2C or be it B2B. So thank you. Super excited to contributing to the panel, and thanks a lot, everyone. Super excited to interact with the speakers after this meeting as well. Thank you.
Then we have Mr. Asad Farhan Ahmed, Head of Marketing, Clarify.
Hey, hi everyone. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes.
Great. I was just testing out the new headphones, so I just wanted to check. But hey, I'm really excited to be here to have this conversation. And I think, as Aishwarya mentioned in the beginning, right, the peer-to-peer communities thing is picking up in this AI world, and where we're all kind of meeting with each other at different spaces and exchanging notes and trying to understand what each of us are doing. So that is really good that this is happening. I head the marketing at Clarify, and because I joined Clarify last year. And before that, I've been working with many different product and services company, IBM, Wipro, and so on. So I've also been in across the different spaces, been in design, marketing, communications, and so on. So it's been an exciting journey so far, and thanks to and excited to be here as well. So
Thank you, sir. Then, last but not the least, we have Pooja Nair Jindam, Head of Marketing, India and Global Key Projects, Evolis.
Thank you, Aishwarya, and also the founder media. Hello, everyone, and I'm Pooja, and I have been into B2B marketing, I guess, for almost 15 years now. But I started on with advertising, and I guess from there I moved on into marketing and marketing communications, and now into strategic marketing specifically. And yeah, it's exciting to be with all of you, and I can't wait to see how we pan around with this discussion and where we go from here. Over to you, Aishwarya.
So, with the theme discussed so far, shifts in B2B technology marketing, I would like to hear from our panelists on how they see these shifts shaping the industry ahead. With this, let's get started with the discussions. So, my first question to you, to every one of you, is B2B technology marketing is at an inflection point where buyers are more distracted, the journey is becoming more complex, and the attention spans are shorter than ever. How should CMOs should redesign the buyer engagement playbook for 2025 to balance trust, relevance, and speed in influencing decisions? We can start with Kartik. Over to you, Kartik.
Thanks for the question. So I think in 2025, the entire landscape itself has changed so much for marketers. Right. So a lot of the things, I see on an average, the entire panel here has close to 100 years of marketing experience. And what we have seen over the last year or so is way different from what it was earlier. Right. So, we are also learning as we go. And I'm sure the other panelists will also agree on that. And a lot of the things, is more experimental now. So new technologies are coming. Every day we see newer apps which are getting launched, newer tools which are coming into picture. But what I believe is too much also adds to a lot of confusion as well. So sometimes, what we see in organizations is you say, okay, so this is a new tool which has come in, why don't you use it? Or, there is this new AI tool which has come in, why don't you use that? But the key aspect is it's not just about how many tools that you have in place, but it's also being very clear and focused on what actually makes more sense for us, right? So I think we should actually stop worshipping too many tools and actually start focusing on making clear choices, right? Because we see there are too many signals, there are too many channels, too many dashboards, right? So this, in fact, many may believe that it actually creates progress, but in fact, it creates a paralysis, according to me, right? So I believe that you need to do less, but do the right things, the right less things, if I were to say. So what that means is you need to sharpen your judgment, you need to orchestrate what you already have, and you measure what changes the behavior in itself, right? So for me, it would actually be fewer plays, sharper judgment, and measure the impact that you do. So how you can probably go about doing that is one, I think map the three real decision moments for each of the ICP, ideal customer profile, that we look at. One is who is the person who actually signs finally, who approves. who budgets for these things as tools that they want to be looking into, and who could actually block what you're trying to propose for the organization, right? And the number two that you can look at is build one matched asset plus one sales play for each of the decision moment which is there. And don't have too many of these plays for each of the ICP. Many times with AI coming into picture, we think we are able to create so much of content. We are able to just bombard everything to the ICP and they will make the decision. No, I think you need to be more measured on who you're targeting, what you're targeting with, and just not get carried away because there are so many tools and start adding to the confusion. I think that's my view on this.
Anyone else would like to add? This is an open discussion.
Yes. So I agree with Kartik. In addition to that, I think 2025 requires a shift for, especially for B2B marketing. It requires a shift from transaction marketing to value-driven marketing. Initially, there was a product. People used to do all marketing campaigns around a product and used to say that, okay, this is what our product is meant for. How is this useful for your industry? And how, like, what all benefits can the industry leverage from that product? I think that transition has to happen, and we have started doing that internally within LeadSquared and also have started seeing the results. So rather than pitching about a product, what our teams have started doing is we figure out that who are our end stakeholders and not the decision makers. So decision makers can be a CIO of the company, but the end stakeholders for a product like us, B2B product like us, might be the salespeople, might be the managers of those salespeople and the entire hierarchy. So we start doing interactions with them. We understand that what is the KRA of every stakeholder, what is the KRA of the salesperson, the field executive, what is the KRA of their manager, what is the KRA of everyone in the hierarchy, and then we market our product in a way that how is it impacting the KRA. So, for example, a field representative is supposed to do 5 meetings a day. How can a product like us can help achieve his KRA or improvise the effectiveness of his KRA? Rather than saying that our product is really good for field meetings, we say that okay, our product can increase or can help in delivering the KRA by XYZ percentage. So rather than doing a transactional marketing, it should be a value driven so that the end stakeholders who might be a layman with respect to technology can understand that okay, how can this help me in achieving my KRA. That also will lead to increased adoption and in some form can increase the buyer engagement with respect to the company and the product.
A great point you have made on this. Anyone else who would like to bring their
So,
view?
yeah. So here, so we're talking about marketing, right? So marketing is all about consistency, right? We have to have a consistent. See again, of course, we're talking about this era, which is 2025. So 25, thanks to AI, some people say it's a blunder to us. It's many things will happen, but intent is like the marketing. It's not going to die. It is all about how do we consistently do it. So if you take 10 years before, people did a different kind of a marketing. Today people are expecting a different varieties of marketing. So only two things that comes into the picture is consistency and experiments. So how do we experimentally do the consistency is what we have to think, especially with the B2B market. See, B2C is super easy because you always do it on the face to the customer, but B2B is not in that way, because the conversion of that marketing strategy will take its own time based on the product. The last point which I want to highlight here is like you have to be very domain focused. So what is the domain focused? So say for example, you're going to do this marketing specifically to LinkedIn in specific, right? So why are we doing it in LinkedIn? That domain agnostics, that is what every marketer should have. So the depth of understanding of LinkedIn or LinkedIn algorithm, how it works, because you can spend money in it, but in a couple of days you'll ready to spend a 2 lakh or 3 lakh easily, right? So how do we define that, and then was that worth for my domain? There are certain domains, say for example edutech, if you ask me, like LinkedIn doesn't works. But when it goes to another domain, for example uh, banking or any kind of other kind of domain, LinkedIn works significantly. So how do we select the domain matters. So in this year, like especially, we cannot try in all the mediums is what my thought is all about. So you have to focus on which medium it has to go for it. And plus, of course, there are other specific marketing domains. Say, for example, even Meta works on some extents. But what is the ratio in which that you're going to project yourself or position yourself with respect to marketing with an experimental hit? Because everybody in the industry likes to have what is the new thing that you are positioning in marketing, because that is a good eye factor for people to take a call for it. So this is really working out for us because we generally do experimental marketing in many cases. And the conversion of course we'll get lead, but the conversion of leads is very high during those steps. So domain, which is the domain that you're going to focus, which is very, very important. You cannot put it in all the domains, plus experiments with consistency. That's my take.
So, Jack, I was just looking at your website, right, and you talked about experimentation and so on, right? So, if you open the M2P website, so right on top it says register for GFF,
Yeah.
right? So, something that you would not do right on the top, right? I mean, something that you would do somewhere at the bottom, or there would be a section somewhere in between that would say, we are participating in GFF and welcome to come to our booth and so on. But for you to put something right on top, which shows that you want people to come to your booth, right? And that's the first thing I can see on the site. So I think it's a good example of the experimentation that you are talking about, right? And I think that is very true. And I think in the last 10-15 minutes, I've heard 3 different opinions, which all of them are true, right? From you and from Aditya and from Kartik, so on. And Kartik spoke about saying that you can't do everything. You have to be very laser focused and pick the things only that are working. And you can't take the customers for granted because with AI, they know everything, right? So just dumping them with white paper or a blog or something might not help, right? And then you spoke about mediums and channel that only do those that will work, right? So I think very interesting opinions, that all of you have. I'm sure Pooja will have something interesting to say as well in this space. So waiting to hear from you as well.
Pooja, would you like to?
Actually, I agree with all of you in bits and pieces, if I can say, because I'm into core hardware sales, and here we talk about channel distribution, which is your regular distributor reseller network that we follow. And then I have something called as projects where we deal with governments. So when we have tenders and a different set of process. So there are 2 different ways that we look at the product, the same product, and the way we have to take it to those people. And trust me, for me, AI hasn't still reached a place where I can use it effectively for all of them because like Jack said, being consistent is something that we also look at very strongly because there are certain core ways of reaching out to these people, and we ensure that that's completely ticked and covered. We do not get into too much of experimentation because at times that also leads to confusion with these people. But yes, subtle creative liberties that we take using the new technology does help. And that only brings out, and amplifies the way we reach out to the end customer or help our channel partners reach out to the end customer. And, more push than pull. And that is where we are these days.
So with this, let's sum up the topic about how marketing has been changing with the recent trends that we are seeing. Talking about another topic, let's talk about AI. So with AI-led personalization scaling rapidly, where do you draw the line between delivering value and invading privacy? And how should CMOs ensure ethical AI adoption while still driving measurable growth? We can start with Kartik again.
Okay. So I think with AI coming into picture, what everybody is looking at is how can you personalize it to the very minute granular level. And sometimes what that could also happen is because we get so excited and carried away with the tools which are available with us. Sometimes you could even leave the judgment and the decision making of what needs to be tracked to what level to the tool itself. And considering it is still an evolving space, the guardrails are also equally important, right? So because the moment you've just unleashed it and without the right checks and balances in place, and somewhere the customer gets to see that his or her data is getting used in some other form than it is what intended for, I think it's going to have a very significant impact on the brand. So I think as CMOs, it's very important that we also act as the chief data officers also, where you are kind of the gatekeeper for what is getting tracked, what is getting measured, what is being, why are you capturing that data? Because sometimes it's not just about capturing everything and anything about the person, right? You need to very clearly define saying, why am I capturing this data in the very first place? How am I going to use it? So if I believe that the intent that I can get is enough from 3 channels that I'm tracking, that should be good enough. Don't go and make it into 10 channels and then make it all the more complex, right? So I think from a data privacy standpoint, and I'm very sure moving forward, even be it in any geography, I think more and more customers will be very cognizant about how their data is being used, and I think they will start questioning brands also on why would you actually need those data. Very simple thing. Even when we go to, say, a supermarket, right, or a multiplex, and you have billed, they will ask you for your mobile number, and you will see that increasingly more number of people are saying, no, I don't want to give my mobile number, right? So I think it's very important, and at the same time, that's also equally challenging for marketers, is because if everybody starts saying no, then how do you personalize? But yeah, I'm sure there will be ways to crack that, but I think the importance is that we need to be the gatekeepers of what is getting tracked and how are we using it. And I think that is what will bring more respect to the brand also, from a consumer standpoint.
You know what? Actually, I agree, Kartik here. Sorry, Aishwarya, I just budged in, but I just agree, Kartik, because at the end of the day, we ourselves also are consumers at some point in time to other brands and to other services, and it's always good to take a step back and think like one. When we are designing our own campaigns and trying to introduce newer technologies or newer ways of tracking data and putting them down into probably campaigns that can lead to more business later. But going back to this question that Aishwarya had also said, that how do we use AI, because obviously it's no longer a buzzword for us. Being into hardware selling, AI is more used in predictive analysis when it comes to technical support, because once I sell the hardware, for me marketing really doesn't stop there. It also goes into after sales, because that's a very, very big part of the game for us. And as long as the printers that we sell are being used and it is staying in good shape, and it is being not coming out with too much of technical complaints, and even if it is coming, it is being handled very well. We ensure that we use AI in kind of predictive analysis for what faults are coming up, or if there is a certain cleaning cycle to be followed, how is it that the prompts will be sent out to the customer. So all of that gets fitted into the hardware for us, and how we use that effectively to run a campaign to ensure our customer knows that you are investing in a product that is, going to help you run your business for a longer tenure. So, that way we have to be a little more someone who gives more assurance that you are doing something good and you're investing in something good. And obviously, like Kartik said, when you're asking for data, when they come to us for technical support, when we're asking data, they do shy away. Like, why do you need so much information? Like, am I printing? Where am I printing? And all of that. They do shy away from that. But again, that's something that is important for us to know. So it's very important that we also shape the way our technical support team, the customer care team speaks. So the entire gyan that they have to give out on the phone or when they are attending a call is also something that we design specifically, so that they are not very harsh. At the same time, they're not like demanding information, but they need to sound supportive. So all of that does help when we design the whole thing.
And just to add to Pooja's point, I think one key point which as marketers we can look at is, essentially what's the lift per data point. So from an ROI standpoint, with all the data that you're getting captured, each of it, what is it, how is it contributing to a needle movement? And if it is not contributing to a needle movement, then don't even capture that information. So I think having that focus will also help.
Aditya, would you like to add?
Yeah, so I have 2 point of view when it comes to B2B. I think most of the B2B companies have they have made sure in their communications that whatever communication they're doing, it's a transparent communication on data usage. Only essential data is collected, because at the at the end of the day, if you have like hundreds of fields, it's tedious for you only as a brand to figure out which are the important fields and which are non-relevant fields, and then segregating that, doing analysis, and then bringing out new campaigns will increase your efforts if you are not if you are collecting non-relevant fields. But another point may not be directly relevant to B2B, but for example, when it comes to communication in a place like hospitals, now personalization is needed. AI, like someone say that, hey Aditya, last time you visited this doctor, hope your experience was good. How can I help you this time? AI-led personalization is important in any kind of communication or marketing. But if someone says that last time you had some chikungunya, and whenever, if it comes to female related specific diseases, someone calls it out loud, then it leads you to an uncomfortable zone. So the you should, while making any campaigns, any marketer should also think about, are we asking the right questions, and is it leading them to the right set of is it making them uncomfortable, or are they getting getting the end stakeholder to in the right direction? So if like my personal point of view is, when you are making the campaigns, important data points should be taken, and stakeholders should also be kept in mind while designing those campaigns, to make sure they are not uncomfortable in sharing the data. With every resistance, the droppage percentage will be high, and in some form, you may lose out on a good customer just because of random data points that were not even needed.
Jack, would you like to add anything?
So, see again, well, people talked about data points and things. Let me go a little base level. So, okay, so of course you talked about AI tools. So, how it's going to effectively, like I'm going to share about how it's increasing our productivity. Right, like today, end of the day, you have to market something, you need to do a campaign, something, you need something with respect to content and design. So if you ask in our team, of course many of us will be using the same, but we are very particular in terms of using only AI tools. We are slowly moving away from the regular softwares which we are getting installed in our laptops. This is something that's a unique thing that we have already started in our department per se. So the influence of AI is very high. So, and we have also kept a new budget with respect to buying only AI tools, not to the softwares. So we are trying to equip, for example, the writer, or to the or a digital marketer, or even to a designer. We are very particular. Like, hey, let's start using only the AI tools to create campaigns, or create a creative, or create any kind of a format that you want to do it. Of course. So then comes to the implementation part, right? Like, so then we use all form of AI analysis in terms of where to plunge, where to not to plunge. Those things will happen. So the baseline is how fast we can use the AI to produce a good quality content or good quality creative is what we have trying to touch upon it. So this is effectively increased with respect to a production of works for us. We in our team, we also take the responsibility of, say, for example, see, marketing is all about collaterals. Like, you have a lot of collaterals in thought. So one of the important collateral is like decks, where like you create a lot of storyboards with decks. So even that we've started using AI. So there are days where, like, maybe like 4 years before, we used to create a deck, it takes a week. Today it takes only 2 hours to make a deck. So how are we equipped in terms of using the AI effectively? That is the thought process for the people who's using the AI. So that we have strongly implemented in the people's mindset. So one basic thing that we have did in the team to work effectively is like, don't use tool, use AI. So that's the perspective. So the the speed of AI is very high, and then the output is also a little faster. It's comparatively a little slow with respect to the quality of it, but yes, we are marching towards it.
Summing it up, Asad, can you give me a one or two liner about this?
Yeah, so we have also started using a lot of AI tools, right? But what we have seen is that whenever we have to make a video or an image-based graphic, right? At time we are seeing some challenges with the AI tools. Okay, so any image that comes out of your if you look at your the ChatGPT Pro and all of those tools, right? This is always you can easily find out and easily say that this is generated by AI. So that is something that we don't want to do, right? And we are not yet gone in that space, right? So even our videos, we generally we still use softwares like Adobe and so on to create our videos. We take stock videos from there and everything. We have not gone completely on AI. But for text, yes, we do a lot of research. Like I'm sure all of us use Perplexity, Claude, and all the AI tools. That is for sure, right? That is something that we start with. All the research, all the analysis is all AI based. But with respect to some things, we still do it manually. That is where we are so far right now with AI usage.
Staying on the topic that we have discussed so far, as Pooja has already pointed out, that AI is no longer just a buzzword. It's embedded in everything from predictive lead scoring to hyper personalized content. Can you share a concrete example where AI has reshaped your marketing strategy or your campaign outcome? And how do you balance automation with human creativity? Aditya, would you like to start?
Sorry, can you just repeat? There was some internet lag at my end.
Okay. So basically, what we are trying to discuss here is how AI has become so common that we are using it everywhere now.
True,
So can you
true.
share a concrete example where AI has
Yeah.
reshaped your marketing strategy or your campaign outcome? And how do you balance automation with human creativity?
Absolutely. For marketing, see, we use AI for alpha beta, so we use different tools inside the company, which shows that okay, whatever performance marketing campaigns we are running, which campaign is performing good, which creative is performing good, and at what time are we getting a good response. So maybe so example, we just have one LinkedIn channel for across the globe, LeadSquared. So US LinkedIn or people in US also use the same LinkedIn channel. People in India, Middle East, everyone use the same channel. Now we have cracked a pattern wherein if we are doing any marketing over LinkedIn, we request the US team to like and share the post before the Indian teams, so that once they start seeing, so this also we saw an AI trend and we started realizing this pattern. So once US teams started liking and sharing the post first, the trend became regular as per the LinkedIn mechanism, and slowly more outcomes were coming from US rather than India. Initially, we used to post it from Indian time. People used to like it in India first, and the trend shifted towards India. But ideally, we wanted it to show to US team members, but unfortunately, we were not able to show it to them because of the LinkedIn pattern. But while we were doing some research, while we were using a couple of AI tools, we realized that okay, this is how we have to make sure our campaigns become smarter. Plus, in so we are also using AI in a product heavily. A small example is we have lead scoring using AI. Now, LeadSquared being a CRM is ideally a very good tool for lead management. So we use lead scoring to understand that which leads or which prospects have a high intent towards a product as compared to the regular data. So if we are getting thousands of prospects, we know okay, these are the 10 prospects which have high intent different interactions on social media, on LinkedIn, how much time they are spending on our website, and there are multiple touch points that we are tracking to figure out those high intent prospects. And using that, we do account-based marketing. We know that, okay, these 10 prospects have higher intent, and let's target these 10 accounts, these 10 prospects in a better way across all the channels. So they see exact accurate use case, they see whatever they are coming on LeadSquared, they see those exact things. So rather than catering to hundreds of people who are showing some interest, we just cater to 10 people having high intent on our platform via different AI tools. And accordingly, we use AI tools in our marketing campaigns as well to make sure the campaigns are targeted to those accounts. So yeah, multiple things. Too much to say about AI, but we'll pass on this opportunity to other people as well apart to share their views on this topic.
Yeah,
Kartik?
I'll add. Aditya spoke about use case from a lead generation standpoint. So I'll probably cover a couple of use cases from a content and research standpoint as well. So at Melinto, what we have tried out is one from our executive leadership standpoint, and how do you build their personal brand on say a platform like LinkedIn, right? So what we are seeing is increasingly from a LLM traffic or an agentic SEO standpoint, uh, the personal brand and the kind of content which comes out on LinkedIn Pulse has a lot of value. Now, how do you constantly come up with point of views which catch people's attention, are relevant to them, and you're able to share that perspective? Again, data clearly shows that Reddit is one of the channels through which the agentic SEO gets influenced quite a bit, right? So we have actually created an entire workflow where we have identified certain threads on the Reddit, which probably just as an example could be around AI, for example. So the entire workflow we have created in such a way that it kind of it scrapes into Reddit every 24 hours for AI related top performing topics. So we have defined various parameters for that. And then it chooses the top best 5 topics that we could probably add a commentary on. And then that comes to us as a summary. And then we have a check there to say among these 5 summaries which have come in, which one resonates more with us and what we have a point of view to offer. And then once we have selected that, that gets then activated to a trendsmith, which creates a post on in the style of our CEO. So we have kind of added all those parameters into it. And then finally it gives a post, which, once the CEO approves, goes on to LinkedIn. Now, earlier to do something like this would have taken so much effort and the team's bandwidth to go there, to research, to then shortlist, then create it, write it, and then get it approved. And with this AI tools that we have now built and this entire workflow, we have not used any coders, we have not used any tech teams. Just in marketing, we have built it by ourselves, right? So and it's made the entire process so efficient. So I think one big change with AI coming into picture is maybe as marketers, we're no longer just marketers, right? We are also taking on a lot of other avatars, even as probably a developer, which earlier you wouldn't have thought of a marketer becoming a developer and building a product. So that was one use case which I thought I'll share.
Asad, would you like to add something here?
So I think content is one of the most popular use cases. So we also use AI a lot for content. So one thing that we have seen, which has helped a lot, is that when we do a lot of these submissions for analysts, right? So we're always through the year there's a lot of requests coming from different analysts for submissions, right? And each of these submissions take about 150 pages or 200 pages. Okay. And if for us to manually create those submissions, right, takes a lot of time. There are multiple presentations and multiple people that we talk to and interact with and so on, right? So to build that submission, create that submission without using AI would have been very difficult, right? And especially when you look at the scores that you have in last year, for example, right? What a rating was there last year, and how do we improve it this year, and so on. So to make those comparisons, AI really helps. When we say that, okay, what did we submit last year, right? What are the products we submitted? What are the solutions we submitted? How did we write it? What was our positioning last year, right? Compare it to this year when we're doing. So we use a lot of these comparative analysis. We use AI to do this, and this has really helped improve our ratings with some of the analysts, right? And in terms of make it a little bit more attractive. Sometimes what happens is these the solutions the submissions that you do, is very, very product focused or very technical focused, right? Sometimes, people miss out on the business outcomes and so on, right? So AI helps create that perspective, right? When you actually feed in the right information saying this is what we do, here is a background, how do we make this more business and outcome focused rather than pure technical and so on. So this is something that we have used AI for a lot, and this has really helped us.
Check your thoughts.
Yeah. So again, I like to touch upon the same content perspective on that, because again, today AI started with content. Everybody started using their own content writing, and so same goes here. So initially we had a lot of writers writing. So of course, today whatever we are getting as an information is based on what are the information I've given 10 years before. So the content is whatever there in the market is what been served today. So I still believe the weightage of that is very high. So that is also the key factor that we invested in the org. So we started with the content team. If you ask in M2P, we started with content team. During that time, there is no AI. Of course, the buzzword was little bit, but not much. But we used to write a lot of blogs. We were like content focused, not product focused, only content focused, making sure that the content is very strong with respect to anything on fintech or fintech terminology, not specific to the product that we are building. It's all about like the product that the product has a lot of the fintech words. So everything was around that, and we built a content strategy on that. Today, that is actually leveraging us a lot. So if I'm right, 5 years before we were having like 10 plus member of content team. Today we don't not having a 10 plus member of content team. We were used to write at least 5-6 blogs per month with the team. Today we have like a 3-member team, right? 15 blogs today. But it's not like completely AI content, but the AI is trying to give us a good structure in which that we can write. If most of the content are being formalized by AI, but it's not 100% AI. It helps us to do filtration faster, plus also it helps us to come up with publication faster. So that is something we strongly believe in it. So if you ask us, the ratio is high, the people are less, but the quality is high. So I just want to touch upon what Harsha said, like the content is very key. It helped a lot of us in terms of position it as a fintech company in India, especially in M2P per se.
Pooja, would you like to add anything?
I think being as chatty as I think I already touched upon this subject some time back. But then, like I said, I agree to all these guys, what they have said. And for us, AI has been more on the product front than on the marketing front at the moment. We are focusing on building the product that is useful for the end customer, for them to, get their hands on the technology, and then probably designing marketing strategies using AI is something which was completely currently at a very nascent level for us.
Staying on the topic of content, content-led demand has been around for years, but with saturation across digital channels, what kind of storytelling or content architecture is actually breaking through for enterprise buyers today? Kartik, you can start.
Yeah, I think for content, it's always why are we producing content, right? The core objective is that we want to establish our brand as a thought leader in that particular space. Now, earlier, when you did not have access to AI tools, it was predominantly the research that you were able to do as a writer. You were able to gather the point of view from your subject matter expert and then weave the story with that unique perspective which was there. Now, that again was a longer process. But it was still a good process because the point of view was really unique. And that way you were able to establish a clear thought leadership for your brand. But now with AI coming into picture, right? So you multiple brands can produce the same amount of time taken. So how do you actually clearly differentiate your brand versus the other content which is coming out there? Right? Because as buyers also, and I think the Gartner study very clearly says that buyers do almost 85% of their research about you as a brand before they even talk to you, right? Or even talk to the sales team. So if all the content is sounding same or similar, then how do brands actually make out the differentiation? So I think uh, for organizations and for marketing teams, it's more important that you invest a lot more in carrying out your own primary research. Now, again, earlier primary research might have been very expensive, but now with tools available, with synthetic data that's also available through AI tools which are there, it's possible now for you to come up with primary research data points, collaborate with influencers who would be there in your space, get the perspective from your your the subject matter experts, get views from communities, right? What are they talking there on the communities? Stitch these things together and then come up with a solid content asset, because that way it has a real unique point of view which is there. It has content value for the reader, and by doing so you're able to establish yourself as a thought leader. So I think a shift in that focus, and rather than just using the AI tools and just bombarding with content, should be avoided.
Jack, would
Just
you like to share?
So what was the question?
So basically, it's on content-led demand that has been around, and with the saturation across digital channels, so what kind of storytelling or content architecture is actually breaking through for enterprise buyers nowadays?
See, storytelling is there in everywhere. Like, and everybody started telling the story, but content. I'll talk about my art domain, right? As far as storytelling is not the base, because we cannot say, because our product is completely different, because we are trying to build a platform where people can build a product on our platform. So that's our product. So in that we cannot tell a story, but what we can say is, like, we can say about our platform is strong, the platform is efficient, plus the depth in which we understand the platform is what we try to market over there. We are the uh, platform strong people, and we always tell to the outside world saying that, hey, anything in and out on fintech or on banking, I think that the first player that you need to reach out is M2P, right? That is something that we always tell to the world, and we always promote us as a, like, he come build with us, come grow with us. So if you ask us the strategy, that is the strategy that we generally follow it. And uh, whenever we try to hit, so we always try to hit the senior leaders. That's where the conversion generally happens, because we want them to understand the platform capabilities available for them, so that they are the decision makers. So if you ask me what is the content, that is the structure that we generally follow, and the structure is very 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 in niche way, and we stick to that, and we've been following it, and it's working really well for us today. Either in one way, like, either they want to onboard in our platform, or they'll try to get an advice from us in terms of how to build this product. So either way, we're getting convinced. Maybe 2 3 years later down the line, when they go hit the other market and come back, they'll again come back and then accompany with us and with respect to buying the product. That has also happened. So it worked in both ways, is what I'm saying.
Aditya, would you like to add anything?
Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. So for us, content led demand and the strategies have changed over time. Right now, rather than saying, okay, this is what we are offering to the people, we publish and we drive strategies around case studies. So how has our product impacted companies, like, for example, if we are targeting insurance companies, so we portray a case study, we take a anecdote from one of the leaders in insurance, and we do campaigns around that rather than doing content led campaigns around product. So how it helps us is, like, for example, I get to see a advertisement, or I get to see some campaign that says that how XYZ product has helped my competitor. That will catch my mind more than a general campaign saying that, okay, how can that product help companies like me? So if my competitor's name comes in the campaign, I'll be more than interested to know, okay, what they are doing, okay, how is this helping their competitor, and I'll be more than interested in taking a demo and figuring out if it is really helping, how can I get that XYZ product in my in within the company. So using case studies, using anecdotes help in industry wise have helped us in driving campaigns and reaching out to the last mile people, rather than just doing content around product and saying that, okay, how can we help you and how is our product better than others. So case studies, which brings credibility, has helped us a lot.
Pooja, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I actually totally vibe here with what Aditya said. What we do in India is we have had this unique opportunity to shift from a push marketing to a more community-led advocacy, if I can say. So, instead of having content, collaterals, and reports, and so many things that have been done, we try to go through our localized user community. So this can be, like Aditya said, case studies. We try to tell stories through these case studies, regional webinars, some co-branded events, or even some customer-led forums. You have, generic meets and all of these organized. Because I think we are at a place where segments that we especially function in when it comes to, say, government, education, and all of that, these guys are not looking for sales deck. These guys are not looking for, polished content as such. What they want to hear is from the people like them who have used the product in real world scenario. And, this means that shifting focus from a one-way marketing to probably building, say, a peer-driven ecosystem, where you kind of take recommendations from other institutions and the decisions are made based on that, So it also helps even the government departments. They will always put their hands up if they have a similar case study or a similar use case given out to them through regional cases. So that's something that has always worked for us, and it also ensures that, we amplify our success stories from the field, because what we are doing here is facilitating conversations. We are facilitating dialogues, and that helps build its own content and its own path of, kind of selling your product by itself.
Asad, can you sum it up?
Yeah, so I think I just want to like I agree with what Pooja is saying, that some of the the ideal customer profile, right? I mean, they are not looking for polished content, and from our side as well, right? So sometimes from content creators, we have now become content curators, where we are looking at what is happening in the industry, right? And where we are looking at the different places where some of the other customers have failed, some of the other our target audience is banks, right? So we are looking at their successes, we're looking at their failures, even though they are not our customers. We are curating those kind of content and sharing with our potential customers, right? Because they want to see what the other people have done. They want to see where the other people have failed, or they want to see where the other people have succeeded. So instead of creating some content, sometimes we are only doing content curation where we are picking out the most important and the most relevant news out there in the market, compiling it and sharing it with people for them to read, saying that this is what is happening and this is what has to be done. So that is something that how we have also changed and adapted to the time, so that instead of a lot of the content, like Kartik was saying, that too much content is being generated. How do you differentiate? So instead of sending one more white paper, we are trying to send something that is relevant to them.
So Kartik has to go. Kartik, just before going, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, just one last question.
Sure.
We are also wrapping it up. If you look at 2025 and beyond, what three core skills will separate successful CMOs from the rest, and how are you preparing your teams to be future ready?
So I think I may not have 2, 3, 4 skills, but I think what is most important skill would be is curiosity. You need to be curious to not just be prescribed what has to be done, but keep looking out, saying what are the new things which are coming up, how is that going to be relevant for what I do, and how do I kind of make equip myself with those skills to try that out. And then I think being open-minded is the other one, because that's the most difficult thing, especially when you've spent 15 years, 20 years doing certain things, and suddenly there's a totally new way of doing it, and someone comes and tells you, this is a new thing which has come up, and this can probably do all this in a much better way. Being open to accepting that, and I think the third one is to perform with a more lean organization or a combination of humans and agents. So I think that's the future that we are going into, and that's where at Melent also we look at collaborative intelligence, where it's the humans and the AI agents which are coming together and working. I think that's going to be the new workforce of the future that we look at, and as teams also they need to be upgraded on those, and I think the CMO will play a key role in that.
Thank you, Kartik. Just going to wrap it up. Asad, would you like to add one more thing regarding this?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that Kartik said, right? And also having to have AI agents and AI tools as your team members, right? And not think of them as somebody separate, right? So that is something that we all have to get used to, and so on, right? And then and like Kartik said, we have to be open. What we did a couple of years back and what we might do a couple of years now in the future could be very different. So we have to be open to things that are happening, things that can change, and so on. So that I would also kind of agree with what you said.
Aditya, one liner, we just speeding it up a bit.
Yeah, so I think a strong hold on the data, because with AI coming into the picture, you get multiple touch points, you get multiple data from various channels linked into one thread. Translating that data into actionable insight and driving hyper targeted strategies is something that has to be a core skill for the future marketing leader.
Jack, one liner.
Okay, so I'll give 2 points. One is like process level thinking, and then implement faster.
Pooja?
For me, it will be active. That's something that is very important as a marketer. We just not dole out campaigns, but also at the same time be listening actively to what the market needs are, and hence where we put our dollars into. So that's something that's important.
That will be all. Thank you so much to all our speakers for sharing such thought-provoking insights today. And that brings us to the close of episode 1 of Marketing Playbook. Heartfelt thank you to all our speakers for their time and to discuss regarding this. We will see you again soon for the next episode with more insights, strategies, and stories shaping the future of marketing. Until then, stay tuned.